What is up, guys? This is Adam, PCP Media. I want to thank you for tuning in. Today, I am headed down to southwest Vermont to visit a private range and the owner of Slate Ridge, Banyai. Not quite sure how to pronounce the name. I'll get him to fix me when I get down there. But look, this gentleman has been in the national news recently with the New York Times, and we're going to go find out what this guy is all about. So, stay tuned.
So you want me to give you a tour first?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. This is the parking area. This is where everyone parks.
Yeah.
It's a little messy right now. Sure. We'll come over here. I'll show you the dorms. I got a guy in there right now, so we'll just poke our heads in.
Okay.
Is that okay
Sure.
with you?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is the dorms. This is where people stay when they come. This is where people sleep and stay.
Okay.
It's a pretty nice setup.
Yeah. Nice. So I guess that's the...
Yeah, comfortably sleeps about 4 to 6 people.
Neat. A little wood stove.
Yeah. There's no cables coming in here. The property is 100% conducive to anonymity, and that's one of the functions of this place, so that people can train here without being bothered.
So do you have like solar power?
Yeah, the whole property's on solar.
Oh, that is cool.
Solar,
I guess well water.
Yeah, well water and satellite internet and stuff like that.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right, so we'll head down to range 2.
Okay.
So down here is range 2.
Okay.
And our FAA approved heliport. So any rotary wing aircraft that comes in lands down here.
Oh, nice. Which could obviously be useful in the event someone were to get injured and needed to be taken out.
Right. We have our CASEVAC protocols and standard operating procedures with darkness. And from spin up to here, it can be a 20-minute CASEVAC, which is faster than the volunteer ambulatory services here.
Sure.
This area is where our explosives demolitions are done.
Okay, so this is where I should stop filming?
No.
Okay.
No. Right here is where we do a variety of vehicle inbussing and debussing, breaching. Our breaching walls are here.
Okay.
This is the area in which some of the dynamic movement happens.
Okay, so 27-foot berms.
Yes.
Got one of the vehicles over there. So I'm guessing that's to shoot and move around, or to be able to.
Well, we've done vehicle assaults in there. We just did some projectile analysis.
Okay.
We went from, I believe we went from 380 to 45 caliber. Let's take a look. So we did so they started at 9mm and
Okay.
they went to 40 caliber and just identified what the penetrations were. Difference from FMJ to hollow point to round tip, and got a really good analysis based on based on bullet penetration. So
Nice. Oh yeah, and I can see over there where you've shot out of the windows, possibly into them as well.
correct. Yeah.
Now, did you notice when you were shooting into the windows, did you ever notice any rounds actually bouncing up from that and actually not penetrating the glass at all?
No, no. What I have found with vehicle shooting is the way the glass is shaped is that when you fire out, you know, people don't understand that it changes the trajectory of the bullet. So the bullet is going to go into a different direction. So hypothetically, it takes practice to say, hey, listen, I want to shoot a fixed static target right there. I need to change, you know, my sight picture. I either need to shoot higher or I need to shoot lower, depending on the concaveness of the glass. There is a little bit of science behind it. It's not what you see on TV. All of the ranges here have fencing around, which is an environmental fence. A tree fell down here, so you're not really going to be able to appreciate it. But the fence is coated with nylon, so that one, it doesn't rust, and two, it doesn't affect the animals.
Oh, neat.
The next component is the fences are to deter human beings, not animals. So if you look, animals can go underneath. They have egress and exit under all of them.
Yep.
All of the ranges have a fence around it with warning signs symbolizing live fire in a gun range. And all of the ranges have a gate that signify when the gate's closed, the range is hot.
Yep. Okay.
Okay? Here's another component, right? So we have that breach there in the burns, right?
Yeah.
So in rapid fire or fire can go, you know, north, south, east, west, right? So this berm is to protect anyone that's in this path if in the event bullets were coming. So it's additional protection to protect people at all costs. 100% safety is implemented in this facility. 100% safety. Our refueling station for aircraft. We applied for 12,000 gallons. We only got a 9,000 gallon permit. So it is what it is.
Right.
Yeah. This is Ralph, our mascot.
Hey, Ralph.
These are our ducks and chickens, and I left the goats in because that's what they want. They like to chop. The goats are down there. It's like, where's that?
Yeah. So with you being a vegetarian, why the farm animals? What, eggs or?
Eggs. Protein is from my eggs. Yep.
Gotcha. Okay.
Sounds nominal, but I'm pretty proud of that. There's probably 100,000 gallons that I dug out of there. You know, for the fire department to come in here. It's called the dry hydrant. So if we have a fire here, we have a tank down there for the fire department, but it's only a few thousand gallons. Here, it's probably about 110,000 gallons.
That's a
lot
of water.
Yeah. So this year I'm going to stock it with fish and do a father-daughter and a father-son fishing day. Nice. We'll tag one of the fish, and if someone gets it, you know, they'll win an award. This is range 3. It is our maritime range. It just started construction in late October, beginning of November, but the equipment is starting to come in. Catwalks and the other apparatus that are on larger vessels. I've got a local veteran group here that's capping trees. I do a lot of work with helping veterans, you know, keep their minds busy and be productive members of society. So here, what's going to be here, Adam, is that there's going to be Connex containers all stacked, and there's going to be catwalks and bridges connecting them, simulating large cargo vessels. Make sense? Right?
Yeah.
So the typical anti-piracy or counterterrorism units train on wood, or they train on non-realistic training evolutions. Here, it's going to be the FRP, which is on, 50% of modern vessels, steel, aluminum, and iron. And this whole area will be an elevation shooting dynamic evolution. So you'll start at one component, you'll go up like you were going into the bridge, you'll go here, you'll go there, and you'll have all different tactical scenarios that you will shoot at exactly like you were on a vessel. Maritime training. This is range 3.
Very cool. So basically, range 3, it's in progress.
Yes.
And so this is your blank slate that is going to be completely filled.
Correct.
And
Yep.
that's pretty cool. How big is this range?
This range will just be shy of 100 meters, but no one is going to be shooting distance here. This will be a strategic navigation, right? It will be dangerous. When you came in, I don't think you saw some of them that couldn't make it to the top yet. All those catwalks are something that will simulate being on a modern ship, right? Okay, so it will be slippery, it will be narrow, it will be tough to mitigate with gear and equipment. The Navy ships, they don't have this giant, OSHA approved staircases, right?
Right.
So down over in that area, we're going to build a small Victory Tower that will be 50% steel, 50% wood. That will simulate changing decks on a ship. This area will give you the illusion that you are on a modern vessel, a modern maritime boat, ship. Yeah.
When do you expect this project to be done?
Sometime this year. Sometime, in the completion of 2021. Yeah. We got the berms in. We got the deck pretty level right now. And we just need, more equipment. We need the Connex containers to come in. We need to get all of the catwalks and gangways here. We have a large gangway down in the front that was donated, from the Marine Corps. The Marine Corps has donated the most amount of stuff here, and I'm an Army guy, so. So that gangway is 34 feet long. Mm-hmm. So what the transition will be is as the guys and gals, walk above the Connex containers or intermingle on the training evolutions, they're going to be on real military stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, real military stuff. All right, let's drive over here to the. So this is range 1. This is where it all started, right here. A whole bunch of private security contractors. This one to be gun guys. Made this thing. This is range 1. So range 1 consists of steel targets, reactionary targets, paper targets, and this shooting facade. The shooting facade we do multiple different things from. We breach here. We do dynamic entry here. We do instruction here, as you can see, with the whatever you call those things, the models. Okay. This is our range rules. This is what motivates people to come here. You want to come to Slate Ridge? It's real simple. You came here alive, you leave the same way. Next rule is you train the way you're going to fight and clean up after yourself. Everything else, there's no other rules. Okay, come on in.
Sure.
This is set up like a house. It's a facade. As you can see, there's doors, windows, fiberglass, vinyl siding. I mean, this simulates a real house if you were breaching. Students shoot through the windows. We have a Connex container full of plexiglass. So you can close the windows, you can open the windows, you can shoot through the windows. This is our staging area here where we let people, clean their guns, whatever. We offer free eye protection, free ear protection. We're COVID friendly. We have hand sanitizer and cleansing stations all over. Here is where we'll let fire department guys, other people, you can go up onto the roof. It's an asphalt roof, which is 90% of society's roofs, to go up and to go into breaching those windows. We have a fire escape here, which I had made tighter so that guys that have very, very large backpacks or gear bags It teaches them to stay tight to the stairs going up. We have this small Jacob's ladder here, so students can come down. This is a little rappel wall. Other little training, platforms like this that simulate, different changes in shooting, dynamic shooting platforms. How am I going to shoot, etc. So that's about the shooting. Here is what is the closest to my heart is the protections and the environmental. Okay, this whole area here underneath is Geotextile FX55. It's a New York State permeable fabric. The whole deck pitches right into this tank right here. Okay? You can see the pipes, and you can see how clear the water is. Excuse me.
No worries. I'll just get a few pictures.
Hey man, I'll call you back. All right, Mike? Okay. So, inside of these berms is drainage. Inside the berms is drainage, pipes. In the front of the berms is drainage. And behind the berms is drainage. Why? This whole area comes right here to mitigate lead. Anyone wants to know what's going on at Slate Ridge? Take a sample and you'll know exactly what's going on here. The berms, the berms east and west have jute net. It's a webbing, a grass woven fabric that is approved by the state of Vermont to keep the erosion down, right? Because we're shooting in there, okay? And that fabric is also approved by the state of Vermont so that animals can navigate through it. Now, the actual front berm there has geotextile fabric on there. That is a biodegradable fabric which captures the bullets, and 50, 100 years from now, that whole area could be rolled up and just taken away to be mitigated. You understand?
Yep.
Okay. The side berms are photo degrading. So over the years, they'll just keep continuing to degrade and erode away, but allow the berms to stay structured, because 90% of berms in the shooting world, they don't put grass on them. Okay? Every tree that we've taken down here, for every 5 trees we've taken down, we put 1 tree back. Have you seen the white Australian pine surrounds the berms? That is a sound deafening tree. It's very popular for mitigating sound and noise. Okay, so that's wrapped around here. Same with the fencing. Okay, there's clean outs for environmentalists to go. Let's say you don't think I have piping in here. There's clean outs so that people can go and look and send a probe down and take a look at what's going on underground. And it all comes to this area here. My friends and soldiers that come here, they drink this water. They run it through a filter and they drink this water.
Still probably cleaner than the water from Camp Lejeune.
Exactly. So this is range 1. This is what started Slate Ridge, right? I built this first, and I continued to proceed on my dream.
Now, when did you originally build this?
I started building range 1 in 2016.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you originally, when did you originally buy this land and move out here and start this vision?
Well, I bought the land in 2013. And unfortunately, I went through a divorce, so it took me a little while to get, the property, situated into my ownership during the divorce. But I've always had the dream, but I never told anyone about it. This property consists of about $1.6 million investment out of my pocket, 100% solely funded by me. So I never told anyone about my dream because I didn't expect anyone to believe me. And people still don't believe me. They come here and they see the fruits of this place and go, how the fuck did you do that, Banyai? You know what I mean? It's like, it's just unbelievable. I have no experience in construction. I have no experience in land manipulation. But I learned. I'm a fast learner. I'm educated. I'm sophisticated, and I made it happen. I made it happen.
Hey everybody, this is Adam, PCP Media, and today I am on site at Slate Ridge in Powlett, Vermont. And I am here with Daniel, the owner of Slate Ridge, and came out here today to interview him. He invited me to come out here after I got in contact with him to tour the facility. You will see video spliced in with this, but right now we're going to interview Daniel and so you can find out about him. I'm sure you've maybe seen some of the articles from the New York Times or other places, but we came out straight to the source to talk to Daniel about Slate Ridge and basically the state of our 2A community. So Daniel, why don't we start off very simple? Tell us just about yourself. Tell us about your involvement with the firearms community. Tell us about your licenses. Tell us about Slate Ridge, and we'll just see where the conversation goes.
Great. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having the guts and courage to come out here. A lot of people
Sure.
don't want to come out to a dangerous place like this, so I'm very grateful for that. I appreciate you and your service to this country. How I designed and how I created Slate Ridge, it's really simple. I looked at a void in the industry, right?
Okay.
This is my story. This is my elevator pitch, and this is what comprised of my motivation to build this place. My first time on a deployment as a private security contractor, I was like many other guys, right? Nervous, eager, not necessarily scared, but timid. But, the next step of the future of what was going to be bringing to me and my behaviors and my actions in support of this country, I knew that was going to be under total immunity and impunity, right? That's what a private security contractor is.
Sure.
So we spin up and we head out on our first deployment. And, I remember that day like it was just yesterday. I bunked up with about 12 guys that I had no idea who they were. I didn't know much about them. I saw their jacket. I tried out with these guys. I made it on the team, and then we get there, right? Mm-hmm. We're out of the United States of America, and we're in it. And that night when we hit our bunks, I watched, with all due respect, because some of those guys I've become very good friends with. Some of those guys are my battle buddies now, mm-hmm. and some of those guys, I would bleed for them. But a lot of them turned into a totally different person. They were motivated by the money. Mm-hmm. They were motivated by the alleged heroism. They were motivated by the task. Everybody wanted to eliminate, right, a terrorist.
Yep.
Right. Everybody was like, yeah, listen, I got this opportunity. Maybe I wasn't able to do it strategically while I served in the modern military, but here came the world of private security contractors, right? Here we had men crying, shivering, and second guessing themselves. And I sat there and I watched these men and I said, wow. What did I get myself into, right? I trained. Mm-hmm. I went to private ranges. I went to public pools. I went to farms. I went to wherever I could to do the dynamic things that I knew I was going to be tasked to do in the defense of and preservation of the Constitution of the United States, and to help implement diplomacy and eradicate sin from the face of this earth. I did my due diligence, but it wasn't easy. Okay?
Sure. So you were a private contractor. How long were you a private contractor for?
For several years.
For several years?
Several years, yes.
Okay.
And what the goal and the motivation for me to build this place was really simple. I saw a void. I saw a need, right? When I went over and looked at Joe Blow and said, hey, man, why aren't you physically and mentally ready for this? Mm-hmm. I had no place to train. Joe Blow over here, why aren't you shooting as proficient as you should be, along with to meet and exceed the qualifications for us to be on this HVT? I didn't have a venue. My gun range said I couldn't shoot dynamically. I couldn't shoot this. I couldn't shoot that. That's when the birth of not necessarily the name Slate Ridge, but the idea that I was going to fix that void. I wasn't going to let another comrade of mine perish because they didn't have the proper training.
So how long have you had this physical manifestation of that concept? Like when the idea clicked, how long has it been in the making to create this reality?
It started probably around 2010, 2011.
So basically over a decade
Absolutely.
of planning and then actually implementing, building it, the 3 ranges that you've shown me. I mean, you're still growing now, building
Correct.
more. And, actually, so in addition to those 3 ranges that you have the maritime range that's, developing. You have your dynamic range with the cars where you can, do movement with that. And So you have those three ranges. Now, do you have plans to expand upon the facility even more?
Yes, my dream is to make a development. A mentor in someone I look up to, General Petraeus, right? A prominent figure in the modifications of modern military today, how we go, both for the Marine Corps, and the United States Army. Has always had that motto that it's, when you start digging your foxhole, you improve on it every day, right?
Right. Yeah.
So my ideological view is that I'm going to continue to improve on and build this facility to meet and exceed whatever comes up for the military, law enforcement personnel, and United States government attaches. So every year is going to be something new. The final will be a 1,000 yard long range sniper qualification range.
Nice.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, you have 30 acres, so you have the ability to facilitate that. I guess you're gonna have to clear some land for that.
Sure. I mean, I'm very strategic. I'm a very environmentally conscientious. I like a low impact on the environment. While what you've seen here has been 100% solely orchestrated by me from birth to current. And that includes, but not limited to, the construction, the design, the licensing, the permitting, me. But the environment is also very, very important to me. That's why you don't see a clear cut here, right? You don't see, it looking like a military facility or like, Velcro and dip everywhere, right? It's a family-orientated place. I foster an environment here to welcome men, women, children, every race, every religion, every sexual preference, and every type of culture.
Very well. So just to be clear, if you had a African American transgender Muslim come here and said they want to train, you'd be like, "Come on in."
That's exactly right. Exactly right.
And that's how it should be, because I mean, when it comes to self-defense, it's for everybody. It is for every single person to have the to not only just own a gun and to be able to defend yourself, but to come out and train and do so in a safe environment. So that, I mean, that's a very good, very good, thing to have, especially because the media loves to portray, white gun owners as, they make us all out to be Hitler these days,
Sure.
especially after the 6th. There's really just ramping up this propaganda that. That the white male is some insurrectionist that desires to take over the country. So I think it's a very good distinction that we put out there. It's like, no, you're the real deal. You you love guns. You love people's freedom to be able to live their life. So that's awesome. So now, you've been dealing with some fights of your own. And you can get into that as much as you want, or you don't have to.
Sure.
That's fine. So don't feel pushed there. But you're seeing the fights that we are involved with. As we talked about before I started taping, we may be looking at Dianne Feinstein introducing, her wish list to gun control this week. There's over half a dozen different, gun control bills that Congress is looking at right now. So you sitting out here, you're in the industry. You're not just me, a person, a veteran that takes his self-defense seriously and makes bad videos on YouTube and puts them out there.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in the industry, so like you had, how does this affect you? Because you have how many 3 different firearms licenses, which I'd love for you to
yeah,
go
sure,
into detail
yeah.
about.
So I have a federal firearms license. I have my SOT and I have my NFA. One of the things that I think that I'm just starting, kind of circling back to the introduction and making the place legitimized.
Yeah.
I always looked at a component of who can I appease first, right?
Okay.
Who can I appease first, right? So look, first I want to appease my creator God, right? We both agree with that. Okay?
Yep.
Then I look at the federal government, right? They have the most power in the sense of legitimacy and the orchestration of professionalism. So what did I do? I had an FFL in New York.
Yep.
In my home. I was one of the few people in New York that had an NFA, and the NFA permit allows me to have fully automatic guns, short-barreled guns, SBR, short-barrel rifles, and suppressors. So I come to Vermont and I apply for the FFL here. Coming into this state, I had already had an AT-4 and a 203 rocket launcher. And when the government officials, like members of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, they came here and embraced an individual and an entity that they've never seen before legal.
Right.
So to come in here and see, who is this guy that has a 203 rocket launcher, right? Holy shit, he's got the permitting for it. Who is this guy that has an AT-4? Who is this guy that has a 249 and a 240?
Yeah.
But the individualism of it is that y'all, meaning the government, you folks that are auditing me and keeping me compliant, authorized me to have that.
Yeah.
You looked at my training.
Yep.
You looked at my mental and physical conditioning. You looked at the procurement of licensing that I qualify under federal standards, and you gave it to me. Am I the bad guy?
No. So to clarify, speaking of bad guys, like the federal government does not just hand out FFLs. I mean, okay, that's probably the easiest of the licensing to be in the business of selling firearms, but to be able to have the SOT and the NFA as the industry side, that is certainly no easy task, especially to have all three. Like, so you certainly cannot be out of legal. You have to be basically have all your ducks in a row to be legally compliant. Things like dishonorable discharges from the military bar you from owning firearms. You get pulled over from having too much pot. Guess what? You're a felon. So there's so many different rules out there that can prevent you from being from being involved on the industry side, or even just having the privilege to exercise your right to bear arms. And so, so you've got this awesome facility out there that you're still growing, and I'm sure even the existing ranges, you're going to improve those as well.
Absolutely.
So, and you have the idea to do the 1,000 yard range. So with all this, so who is your main focus of people? Is it contractors and military, or do you have more people come out, such as families to get firearms trained, or teaching like children the basics? I've seen like pictures and stuff where it looks like I haven't seen anything of actually military stuff. Actually, everything I saw was family stuff.
Sure. That's a phenomenal question, Adam. And it's imperative to understand that the birth of Slate Ridge in 2016 was solely created on supporting the United States government, United States military, and law enforcement. We only allowed the civilian population to come here when there started to be animosity in the community. Okay. Right. So the community saw, aircraft landing here. The community saw black SUVs coming here. That inquisitiveness caused the calamity in the birth of, what are they? Are they a militia? Are they a cult? Are they terrorists? Are they radicalized people? So that is when 2017, 2018, we started to say, listen, Joe Blow, Susie Q, come here. We have nothing to hide, right?
Yeah.
So into your question now, what it's morphed into is that right now, with all of the negative, slanderous media, we have more people coming here and more women right now that are coming here to learn defense, okay? With COVID, we have more radicalized, democratic, anti-gun people coming here that have just come into the position that, listen, I'm having a paradigm shift, right? I've advocated anti-gun, no guns, whatever, but now I'm seeing the characteristics of where society is going, how I'm going to be able to defend myself in that movement that society is going to. I need to get a gun. I need to go see someone that is a practitioner.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah.
Anyone can be an NRA instructor, no offense to the NRA. Anyone can be a USAA instructor, no offense to them. But Slate Ridge is 100% predicated on the practitioner model. Gunfighters, professionals that use the firearm as a tool in the line of their employment. That's what we teach people here. Safe gun etiquette, safe gun practices, safe gun handling, etc. So the way it looks right now, the last 360 days plus, has been people that are just a lay citizen. Hey, I bought a gun from the gun store. Hey, I bought a gun online and had it shipped to an FFL. Hey, I want to come up to Slate Ridge and see, what kind of guns you have. I possess more guns than anyone in this area. And I synergize with the local FFLs in this area because they don't have the type of inventory I have. So I say to Joe Blow up the road, listen, you got a guy that likes the new SIG 320, you don't have any inventory, send them down to me, I'll let them shoot the gun, and then go back up to you and they can buy it. I don't sell guns to civilians. I only sell guns to law enforcement, military, or government attachés. So it works with the community.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So, so that explains. So basically, because this is a private range, you're not charging people to come out here.
That's correct. There's no fee.
So okay. So for those of you watching, there's no fee to come out here and train. So first off, free training that doesn't happen. And so this is, I mean, purely an altruistic passion project in a lot of ways.
Right. You know what that satisfies is that, when we host a class here, the worst thing you could have is someone try to hijack your class, right? Mm-hmm. There is a lot of firearms instructors out there. Mm-hmm. Many of them I have a personal relationship with, right? And for their profit ideological views, their entrepreneurialism or their endeavors to financially keep themselves afloat, they have the opposition, okay? Yep. They have the guy in the back, oh, I do it differently. I don't, I'm doing something, I'm doing Weaver, you're doing... Yeah. Okay, but when you come here, you just shut up and take the information in because it's free. Yeah. You don't want it, don't come here. Yeah. We didn't pull your leg to come here.
Sure, no, absolutely. Now, speaking of instructors, are you the firearms instructor doing this, or do you have people come in and do firearms instruction? Is there a combination of both?
Right, so we have people from all over the spectrum. Military, government, law enforcement, even lay people, right? I have some people that come here that are, HVAC company owners. I have probably one of the best female firearms instructors in the country that happens to be a federal agent. So we have people come from all different walks of life because it's not about us, right? Mm-hmm. When we teach, there's no bio, right? There's no bio. You know why? Because I could say, or anyone could say, you're a Navy SEAL, you're Special Forces, you're MRSOC, you this, that thing. But then when you get out there and you start making the stupid, ridiculous, unprofessional mistakes, people are going to capitalize on that, and they're going to call you out. So here, we have a motto, right? It's very simple. We don't tell you, we show you.
Sure.
Right? You want to see if we can shoot a pimple on a baboon's ass 100 meters away? Call me out on it. I'll draw my firearm and I'll do it. You want to see the tactics and critical strategic thinking to navigate through a lethal encounter? Call me out on it. Ask us to demonstrate it to you. We're not a YouTube sensation, right? Like we don't, like Instructor Zero asked to come here. No, right? Other instructors that are just solely looking for that YouTube phenomenon, we don't have an alliance with them because that's theatrics. That's acting. You saw the 3 rules, which I'm sure you will show to your viewers. If you can't comply with those 3 rules, this is the wrong place for you to train in.
And don't let me forget, before I leave here, I actually should go back and make sure that I do have a clear photo of that.
Yes.
Because I think I have some, but it's good to always get circle back and make sure you got it.
So if you come here and you take a Stop the Bleed class, you take a Introduction to Gunfighting class.
Let me stop you. Okay, so where were we right there? You were talking about...
So, when it comes to dialogue, when it comes to content, right, people leave here and, on our Facebook page, I think we had like 178 reviews. All those people spoke from their heart because not just they didn't have to pay for anything, they came and they learned something, right? Mm-hmm. And they learned something without an ulterior motive, right?
Yeah.
We don't have to give you a refund. We didn't charge you, right? We don't have to like you because we're just trying to teach you. We don't have to impress you because we may never see you again. It's a very simple format which society in this area has a humongous problem with, right? And that is what has stimulated my problems with this community. And I don't know if it will ever end.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, hell, I'll tell you, you should have set up in my area in New Hampshire. People would be mad at you just because you didn't invite them over at the time.
Right.
Like, you're shooting machine guns and you didn't invite me over? What the hell, man?
Right.
So it's I get that. So I mean, there's definitely the aspect of local battles.
Right.
And I mean, obviously, you're right here on the ground, very, very local with a local community of 1,300 folks. But there's also bigger issues. If we can look at state and we can look at federal. And so what do you see as the biggest fights that we have going forward over the next few years in with the political climate we are in, and how are you fighting it, and how do you suggest we fight it as a gun culture, gun community, and as Americans?
Sure, great question. So, supporting the United States government and supporting our Constitution, I believe in protesting, right? Mm-hmm. And I hope that doesn't offend people, but I believe in protesting. I believe in civilized, mm-hmm. safe, and conscientious protesting, right? Mm-hmm. In that three formula there, that three compartmentalized formula equates to holding people accountable.
Always.
Okay. Holding people accountable is a very difficult category. It's a very difficult thing. Mm-hmm. And people don't want to hold people accountable, right?
No.
Right. They don't want to hold people accountable, right? I say I make a mistake, I need to be held accountable. You make a mistake, you need to be held accountable. What I'm finding is society is not strong enough, or they don't have enough zeal, right? They don't have enough ambition. They don't have enough courageousness to hold people accountable. Okay, so gun culture, people need to get strong, people need to wake up, and people need to make a difference in their activism, right? Saying some slanderous crap on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever is out there, it doesn't work.
Right.
Going to the lion's den, sticking your head in, and saying, hey, I might get bit or I might mm-hmm. make a difference is the type of people we need. Mm-hmm. Those type of people have excuses. Point in case. Just spoke to a decorated soldier yesterday. Right? Mm-hmm. And I said to him, I go, where is your alliance with protecting the Constitution? Do you remember what you said when you raised your hand at MEPS? He goes, Daniel, I do. But I got a daughter. And I got a job I need. And mm-hmm. I got this and I got that. Sorry, pal. You're not strong, right? You're just going to be another person that cancel culture, yep. the anti-gun culture is going to run right over you and take your rights away, so that in 50 years from now, when your daughter or grandchildren say, hey, Dad, why can't we shoot guns anywhere? Why can't we own guns anymore? I said, you better take a position in that responsibility because of your cowardness, your insecurity, or not being sophisticated enough to join an alliance to make a difference and hold people accountable.
Yeah, and it is amazing. Definitely agree with you that social media is a great place to vent and get your mood out, but it certainly doesn't provide any solutions. You never win any arguments.
Right.
But putting your neck out there, it can still be as simple as sending an email or a letter. With a few years ago, they were trying to ban green tip. And then just a few months ago, they were trying to ban pistol braces, say someone was SBRs, and both of those were canceled. And now it was the ATF obviously looked at it like, okay, well we'll just stop at this time. So obviously they would love to come back, but it's definitely us remaining vigilant is definitely something we have to do and be in the fight. And actually, I know that you put your you put up, you didn't shut up. You got involved because you did run for town selectman. You didn't win,
right?
But you did run, and so that's. Do you have any plans to run again? I mean,
well, I'll continue. I'll continue to try to take that mm-hmm. that political position to help make a difference. What the fruits of that will become, I don't know. Yeah. But what I do know is that I have an obligation to society, right?
Sure.
It's one of the oaths you took, mm-hmm. and I took, and I know I took yep. as a responsibility. And that is that we're here today about the Second Amendment rights.
Yes.
Okay. I cannot, and let me rephrase that, I will not allow those rights to be encroached upon or negated for anyone else, right? Yep. My war now here at Slate Ridge is no longer about me, right?
Yeah.
It's about the people. We the people. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Right? And when I say we the people, I don't mean to interrupt you. I mean all the Jewish people in this community that have had their rights negated. Mm-hmm. All of the LGBTQ community. All of the people of color. Mm-hmm. All of anyone that's not an Anglo-Saxon Christian Catholic that is the common denominator in this community. All those people are sitting on the back burner going, wait a minute, mm-hmm. I don't have any rights. Now mm-hmm. I don't have any Second Amendment rights mm-hmm. because one radicalized group of people has negated that. No, I can't let it happen. And if I stand and fight by myself, I will. You know, Nelson Mandela has been a vision of mine of something that I fight for, right? Principle, 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 right? You know, in the military we had the 3 M's: the mission, the men, and me. I'm always at the last. I'm garbage. I'm at the bottom right now. But I cannot allow society to be able to negate what people are entitled to. If I was here with a controversial deli or sewing shop or whatever, there would be more strategic legislation, statute, and law that would stop that. But this is guns, the Second Amendment.
Yeah, and so the Second Amendment is, it's always portrayed, we are demonized.
Right.
Now that I haven't trusted the media in years, but when I saw what was going on with what I saw with you, when I saw the media, I'm like, they're doing this to everybody. So you're right, it isn't just about you. And I thought it was also important that your rhetoric, which was being twisted, you know, it's as a Marine, there was plenty of rhetoric that we used that would, you know, when you mention a war, that doesn't mean, you know, you're grabbing your 240 and you're going and playing John Rambo.
Right.
It literally, you're talking about legal battles, fighting for our rights.
Right.
And now, obviously, I think if we get to the point where we meet the wall, where our rights are being curtailed to such a point, well, that's a different story where we talk about where we get there. But right now, we do have a political process that sort of seems like it almost kind of works, and that we can push back. So, I mean, you've been pushing back. You're continuing to push back. And I don't want us to start, you know, circling around, getting at any point. So we should probably go ahead and kind of close it down a little bit, because I think we've got a really great fundamental, understanding of you, where you're coming from now. What would be some final words you would say to the 2A community at large? Because what I'm seeing is it is about you, because you're the first person on the totem pole. The rhetoric being used against you is actually very frightening. And so, you as a gentleman, like, what do you say to all of us who are in this fight together? Because, I mean, it actually seems like there's whack-a-mole being played, where people are being taken out one by one, and we are going to have to stand together for a political fight. So, what do you say in your closing
remarks? Right. And it's really simple. It's, if it can happen to me, it can happen to you. Right? If you look at the state of Vermont in its entirety, this property is the only property that has been banned from discharging firearms on because of narcissistic, egotistical, corrupt individuals that exercise nepotism in the local government. They bound together and said, no more guns? Okay, no more guns. No more shooting? Okay, no more shooting. And they just want to eradicate that. So what it means is, if it can happen to me, it can happen to you. If people don't bond together and come together and synergize, put aside your political views, put aside your religious views, put aside your cultural views, and just work with another human being and say, as we come out of the womb, this is what we are entitled to. These are our constitutional amendments that we are to be given to, and they should not be infringed upon or molested. And those people need to come and walk either with me, okay? I have a saying I say all the time: if I lead, will you follow? They need to walk with someone or carry the weight of the torch with sophisticated and organized individuals to make sure that our voice is heard. Saying it on Facebook, saying all the garbage at the gym or in the community, whatever, is moot. Is moot. The picture needs to be as prevalent as it is right now. I'm labeled as the most dangerous person in the state of Vermont. That's a fact.
I'm scared. Not really. This has been a lot of fun, because and what I think actually is probably a very, very important ending note that you said is, it's not about you. You're clearly not making it about you. Daniel, like, if you listen to what he's saying, he is talking about, look, someone's got to lead, someone's got to follow. And he doesn't care if he's leading or following, and I think that's all of us. But we all do have to be out there. What I'm doing today, this is activism, just coming, sitting, and talking to someone, because we're going to put this out there. This is going to be on YouTube for everyone to see, and that the more we get out there, and even when I say on getting out on YouTube, even when you normalize our culture by putting if you put the videos on, there's so many different social medias, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, I can't even think of them all. But that's a part of a normalizing of our culture, because we must do that in order for us to keep this fight, and we have to keep protesting and not give up the fight. Daniel, I want to thank you so much today.
Absolutely.
For letting me come out here
Yeah.
and have this chance to interview.
You're always welcome to come back. Your family and friends, and anyone for that matter, is always welcome to come here. This place is set up for people that want to be behind a gun to be behind a gun the way they want to be. That's what Slate Ridge is all about.
And we will definitely have to talk offline about coming out here and shooting sometime, because I knew filming would take a while, but this was definitely, I think, well worth my trip out here. And I'll tell you, anyone, if my footage of shaky cam as I'm riding around in the four-wheeler doesn't do justice to what you will see if you get to come out here, it's got several very interesting ranges of different sizes where a lot can be done, and I'm very I want to see the future of this place as it develops. If you like this content, please hit the thumbs up. Please subscribe. Hey, please check out my store. All those links are below. God bless. Take care.